So the key to success with any dog going home from this program, really, it's gonna be consistency. I know a lot of people that do the right thing some of the time, okay? They know what to do and they do it some of the time, but not all the time. What I'm talking about are these moments where sometimes it's not even within your control in that moment because you're so busy, maybe you've got a whole house full of kids or whatever, you're a hard worker, you're working 70, 80 hours a week. You want to use this training so that if your dog is out and with you, meaning it's not in the kennel or it's not put away, if it's out for the next 3 months, there's a good portion of our energy going towards paying attention to that dog to make sure we're consistent with corrections, we're consistent with direction, okay? Telling the dog what to do. Where the slippery slope is not being consistent, okay? So even if you're doing everything right, but there's times where the dog just makes a mistake and you don't catch it, or you don't deal with it properly, meaning you don't correct and then direct. And that happens, let's say, 2 out of every 20 times, the dog gets away with doing this bad behavior that you're trying to get rid of. The dog's gonna gamble, and it's going to learn those moments where it can get away with it, and it's gonna continue. So you have to have a tight ship. You have to have a day. We call making it a default day. You have a day that you're going to repeat with your dog that's on lockdown. You know exactly what you're doing. The dog knows exactly what you're doing from the minute it wakes up to the minute it goes to bed. You're telling it what to do. And then you spice it up here and there, like on the weekends or something, but you have this default day. This is the way to be most consistent and have the most success. Once your dog is kind of reprogrammed in a sense and is doing really, really well and is on this new plan and everything's feeling really stable, you can go outside your comfort zone. You can break this default day and do different things and give your dog a little bit more freedom. But if things start to slip in the wrong direction, start getting worse, meaning the dog's behavior, we always go back to this default day that works. This default day keeps the dog stress-free for the most part, as if we can help it. And it makes sure it satisfies all of their needs, but at the same time, it keeps them well-behaved and cleans up any attitude that they might have. All right, so you go home on this program, you implement it, you're consistent. If you ever need it in the future, you know what to do. You revert right back to this default day that you've created that includes all the structure and all the discipline that this system has to offer to clean up your dog's bad behaviors, okay? Does that make sense? It's almost like, is the camera still rolling? Really, guys? Once your dog gets really good, when we have dogs that have been out of, for me personally, my program 5 years ago, that are still doing fantastic out in the real world, because this stuff holds up. But if you ever have a week or a couple days where your dog's just not doing well, like I said, we put them back on heavy structure for a few days. It cleans it up. Think of it like this, if it helps you remember. It's almost like grounding your kids. Your kid has a bad week at school, does something really, really bad, and they seem like they're getting a little out of control. Okay, you're not listening as well lately. Let's ground you. Let's make sure we tighten up the rules. Let's pay attention and monitor your behavior until you're back on track, and then we'll loosen up again. And this teaches you to self-regulate. Otherwise, we're going to implement all this structure and all these consequences for when you're not self-regulating. Think of it that way, okay? And the dog generally gets to this point where they are making the right decision on their own, rather than you always have to micromanage. If you're micromanaging all the time for weeks, months, years, something's not right, okay? Your formula for success is off a little bit for that particular dog, okay? Good girl, good girl. Good girl. That's my girl. Let's see if she knows the word girl. Break. Good girl.
No.
She had a little work done with her by her owner already, so she knows a little bit of this stuff pretty good. It's just going to be tightening everything up and making sure in those moments of stress or in those moments of transition or those moments of surprise, she doesn't try to take the lead. She lays back, she relaxes, and let the humans take control. Oh, and she stops being so demanding. Because if I put her on a tie back and walk away, 30 seconds later she's rah, rah, rah. That's demand barking. That's saying, hey human, hey thumbs, get over here and undo this leash. All right, we don't want any of that type of mentality in our dogs because it's just too demanding. And if a dog has bad judgment and makes poor choices regularly, we allow them to do that. it's definitely not gonna help the matter. It's gonna make it